This video is going to be on the Hackensack incident that happened in '88 that killed 5 firefighters, and also on bowstring construction. There's a couple questions we were supposed to answer in this post. One being why the bowstring construction is so dangerous for firefighting and firefighters in general, and some buildings in the area that are bowstring construction, and what buildings may be bowstring constructed. To start out, this wasn't the first time in history that people were killed or injured in a bowstring constructed truss accident. 10 years prior, in '78, in New York, a supermarket killed 6 and injured 34 firefighters when there was a roof collapse. And then, of course, '88, the Hackensack incident that we watched on the video killed 5. And then in '98, in Chicago, an automobile tire service place killed 2 firefighters. So here's 3 decades of knowing how dangerous these bowstring truss constructions are, and it seems like the same thing had happened in all 3 instances where communication was an issue, and when the call was to back out, the personnel weren't able to get back out. Why they're so dangerous? Bowstring construction itself is not really a dangerous construction. The truss construction is an arch with webbing, making triangles on the bottom base of the truss that distributes the weight, and the compression on that truss is going to push downward and outward, whereas normal truss, it's just downward. This is also going to press on the load-bearing walls, on both sides of the truss, which makes it a bit more dangerous. In building class especially, if it's pushing those walls out, if the walls start not being stable, you're going to have that truss system come down, where maybe in a normal, king and queen construction truss system, they wouldn't have done that. Now, also the heat factor. With a lot of bowstring construction, you'd have empty space where the heat could get to the trusses much easier if there wasn't a ceiling in place. Just an open floor plan being, most of these buildings would be maybe churches, warehouses, barns, schools maybe. Back in the day, they used this sort of construction, and it was easy to recognize back in the day because it was kind of a dome, half-circle shape to the building that you would see. Now, the bowstring construction, a lot of parapets and fake wall is put in place, and you can't really tell if it's bowstring unless you go in there and actually check it out. Creates a big danger for firefighters not knowing that something is a bowstring construction, and going there fighting a fire and not having that kind of knowledge can really hurt us. Some buildings in the area that I found that were bowstring construction were some churches I located, an old school, some old warehouse buildings that had the construction, and these were obviously seen through the dome-shaped roof that I saw. Now, I'm sure there's many more that I didn't see, and I guess it takes knowledge of talking to someone to understand if it is a bowstring or not. Some other important things that I learned. Bowstring truss construction is not limited to buildings. You can use the bowstring truss also for bridges. It's used quite a bit in bridge construction just because of the strength of it, and also the archways. If you look at maybe tunnels, they can have a bowstring type construction. It may not be wood, it might have steel or some other material, but same concept of that bowstring truss. I found a good article on a firehouse. If you guys would like to take a look at that, I'll put the post on that as well. But other than that, that's most of what I've learned about the bowstring construction. This is, like I said, a very tragic incident that happened with the Hackensack fire, and lessons were learned, and unfortunately the incident did happen again in '98, and I think every department should have training on this kind of thing just because these things can happen to us and we need to be aware of it. Thank you, and hope to hear from all the other posts.